So welcome back to my channel. Long time no see. Funny enough, I think this video is actually coming at a perfect time from my last one, which I did just after New Year's, and it was all about my 2019 and my plans and goals for 2020, which I've kind of gone out the window, but I mean, it's led on to this video, so yeah. So obviously, we're in quarantine. I believe we're in week 7, or I know I'm in week 7. I know everyone's slightly different. And it's a pretty crazy time for everyone, which in some instances is quite good because it's something that a lot of us are experiencing together, but obviously everyone's on their own individual journey at the same time. Some people are coping really well and it's like their ideal situation, and I know other people are really struggling. I know for me personally, it has been a roller coaster ride. That's the only way I can explain it. At the beginning, I'd say when I first came out of work, because work is my main routine, so when I lost that, I really struggled. I really struggled to accept the fact that I wasn't going to see my friends, that I wasn't going to have a routine, was concerned about money and what's going to happen. And then once I become a little bit more settled and I knew about the furlough scheme, etc., and yeah, I started to kind of adapt. And then since then I've had days or few days where I've been really emotional and struggling to kind of see a light at the end of the tunnel, like I'm sure a lot of people have felt. And one thing I've noticed as well is my anxiety has really sparked certain days, and yeah, I've been really struggling with. And so I took to social media and just put out on my story just like kind of what I was doing, and I was really surprised at the response I got from people. The other day I put on about the yoga and meditation apps that I'd been using, and the fact that I had finally kind of got into a pattern of doing them and they were really helping me. And I got a lot of responses from people saying, you know, I've just downloaded this, it's really helped me, asking advice like, what is the best time to do it in the day? And so I thought, why not come on here and, you know, I've listed down a few things that I do that I've found have helped. Yeah, they might help you. I've kind of named them like tips and tricks to stay sane during quarantine. A lot of it's going right back to basics, and I think that's really important because I think it's the little things and the basic things that we probably take for granted a little bit in our day-to-day life. Excuse my appearance, by the way. This is just my quarantine look. I've had my hair in plaits, so it's just everywhere. Let's get cracking on the advice. Okay, so the first one I've got is creating a routine for yourself. Now, obviously, a lot of us are out of routine. We don't have a job, or we don't go to work at the moment, and I think a lot of people have this there's nothing to wake up for sort of thing. That sounds really deep, but as in like there's nothing in your day to wake up for. Me personally, I am someone that needs routine. It's kind of just the way I function. I've never been the sort of person to lounge around in bed. I wish I could be, but I think I'm just too much of a busybody, I'd say. Most days. I do have lazy days, do not get me wrong. But yeah, so for me, routine is something that's quite crucial to me, but it could help some of you. Little things like setting an alarm for yourself on the weekdays, but it doesn't have to be a crazy early alarm. It could be 8 o'clock, 8:30, even 9 o'clock. I know that for me, waking up at a certain time and doing what I would normally do, so obviously having breakfast, washing, getting changed, makes me feel more awake. Literally to go out of your loungewear, pyjamas, whatever, into more loungewear, make you feel fresh. It'll make you feel more awake, more ready for your day. And I think you might feel better within yourself. Is it laying or lying? A laying. Lion. I think people say it differently. Well, I don't know what I say now. If you do want to have a lay-in, you want to have a lion. Oh, I don't know. But obviously, if you do want to have a lion, yeah, I said lion. then you can always have them at weekends. It gives you something to differentiate between a weekend and a weekday. The next thing I've got on my list, that's funny, are lists. Oh God, I get a bit of...
I've got a bit of a lisp when I say that.
God, I am a list maker. I love making lists. They just help me feel focused for the day. I write lists of everything. Anything that I can make a list about, I will make a list about. Get yourself a nice list book or a notepad and just write a list. It can be a daily to-do list. You want to try and keep quite realistic. Don't pressurize yourself too much. It's not about, I have to get all of these done. It just gives you a focus. If you do get to a point in your day where you're like, I don't know what I'm doing, I'm bored.
Okay, I'm bored in the house and I'm in the house bored.
Because that is when things like anxiety, you'll start to overthink, your mood will probably naturally come down. So just having something to refer back to where you can go, right, well, I haven't done this, or I haven't prepped dinner, or I haven't spoken to this person today. It just kind of has it on paper so that you can always kind of look at it. You can make weekly lists, you can plan each day, give yourself like a main activity to do each day, and even plan things that you want to do after lockdown. I woke up one morning, I made a cup of tea, I got back in bed, and I wrote lists of activities, places I want to go, places I want to eat after lockdown, people I want to see, if there's something to look forward to. Obviously, none of us are quite sure how long this is going to go on for, and that can be a really scary thought. It's just not in our control. But these are things you can control, because you know that one day soon, hopefully, we will be out of this. So it's kind of taken back a little bit of control and saying, you know what, after lockdown, this is what I'm doing, blah, blah, blah. Okay, the next thing, vitamin D, which I'm hoping I'm getting that right, and I'm hoping that's like from sunlight.
I'm very sorry if it's wrong. I swear vitamin D is sun. I was quite good at science in school, but I might be really wrong.
Costa del Garden. I'm actually supposed to be getting on a plane, probably right now, to go to Poland. Not necessarily a beach place, but still it's a holiday, it's a trip. I was so looking forward to me and my friend Sophie going, but it is what it is. And I'm sure some of you are probably supposed to be going on holiday soon, or are supposed to be on holiday, and it sucks. We kind of just, you know, have to get on with it. Luckily, we have been blessed with quite a lot of good weather. I know we went through a little bit of a heat wave, and I know it's been sunny the past few days, and I made quite an effort to make sure I was spending quite a lot of time outside whilst we had good weather, because I knew that my mood would change a lot when we had like worse weather. So I spent a lot of time in the garden, and I just made sure that I left a lot of my inside jobs to do for when the weather changed. And luckily, when it did change, I had some things to do, because it gives you a distraction for those days. So you're not just sat there staring out the window wishing it was hot again. Oh God, I feel like I'm talking so fast. The next thing I have got on my list is yoga, meditation, and or mindfulness. Now, the minute some people hear this, they're like, nope, and that was literally me. I went through years of therapy, and my psychiatrist would always try and throw yoga and mindfulness at me, and I was having none of it, because I genuinely just didn't see how sitting there, you know, being all zen and humming to myself, which is literally what I thought it was going to help me. That is until recently. And I've been struggling with my anxiety, and usually the key for me is distraction. Obviously, after weeks of being in lockdown, you kind of find it harder and harder to find things that are going to distract you. One of them is a yoga app, and the other one is called Headspace, which is quite a popular one. I started the yoga one first as something to do in the morning. I found it really helped my body, because some of you that struggle with anxiety will probably know it does kind of take over your body, and I did feel like at my worst I was getting like physical pain, but I knew or had an inkling it was more my anxiety, and obviously it can change your heart rate, it can change your breathing, it can make your body hurt, it can make you tired. So I found that yoga was a really good way to kind of stretch out my body, have time to listen to my body. Oh my goodness, they have been incredible. They are a part of my daily routine now. I do a session of yoga in the morning. On this app, it's amazing. They do all different categories for yoga, all different sorts of exercises. So I do a morning yoga, and each session is about 10 minutes long, so it doesn't take up a huge chunk of your day either. And then in the evening, I will do a bedtime yoga, and then I tend to do my meditation at night because my anxiety in particular gets so much worse at night. So much worse at night. Yeah, it's, oh, I hate it. So I find that really helps me just relax, calm down. It just, it's really hard to explain. It just really helps. I do feel like you have to put the work in as well. Like, you have to really open your mind to it. 50-50, you have to meet the app halfway. With the meditation, I find it best to do in a quiet area if possible. I always put my overhead headphones on to block out any sound and make sure you're comfortable. I'm not going to say it's going to work for everyone. Like I said, it didn't work for me a few years ago. I think you just have to get in the right mind frame for it. Communication. Now, communication anytime, in quarantine or not, is super important, especially if you're struggling. So we do all have to put in more effort to keep up conversation, to talk about your feelings, and it's good because we are all in the same boat. So there will be someone out there who, you know, is probably feeling exactly how you're feeling. Just to keep that line of communication open. And we are really lucky that in this day and age we have things like FaceTime, we have things like Zoom and House Party, so that we can see each other through a screen. And we have social media as well, and I don't know about you, but it kind of makes me feel a bit more connected to the outside world when I look on social media. Really basic one is food and drink. Stay hydrated. I am actually the worst for this. My mum is always moaning at me, I never drink enough, I always complain of having headaches, but I think it is really important, especially if you're trying to just like look after yourself a little bit more. And when it comes to food, in my belief, eat what you want. During this time, eat whatever makes you happy, whatever makes you feel the best, you know, that you can feel. And it kind of links to my next point about comparison. Everyone's on their own journey, and everyone is going to have different focuses and goals during this quarantine. Now, some people that you will see on social media are super active, they are enjoying working out, they are eating the healthiest foods, and that's what they want to do, and that's like making them happy. However, I know that it can be hard not to compare yourself, and if you're not in that mind frame, or that's not what you want to do or makes you happy, it can almost make you feel bad about yourself because you're not doing those things. But it's really important to remember that you are on your own journey. Like, I just think that this time isn't a time, you know, to be punishing yourself or judging others or being horrible. Just be kind to yourself, be kind to others, do your own thing. The key thing during this time is to stay safe, to stay healthy, and stay as happy as you can be. I know not many of us are like, you know, loving life, happy, but it's just trying to stay sane during quarantine, which is what this video is all about. Yeah, so in terms of doing whatever makes you happy, that could be your favourite films, that could be watching YouTube, that could be spending time with your pets, spending time with your family, FaceTiming, going out for walks, bike rides, exercise, being super creative, working on a project. I mean, I'm redecorating my room, or I've moved rooms, so I'm decorating my new room, which is actually taking up a lot of time. I'm also completely obsessed with TikTok. I want to put this in here because I just remembered it when I thought of TikTok. Going back to the comparison thing, you know, and that this time is not a time, there's just no need to be unkind and things like that. I can't believe the judgment that is out there about something as minor as TikTok. It just kind of blew my mind, especially like I see it a lot on Twitter. Yeah, it just really surprised me how many people judge other people who do it. I just think it's just TikTok. People are just having fun. Like, I don't know. But yeah, it just kind of goes back to that. If you want to do it, do it. Like, honestly, if it makes you happy, do it. Don't worry about what anyone else says. It just is strange. Like, I just think in this time we need to be spreading love and kindness to others, and then there's people slagging other people off on Twitter because they do TikTok videos, which is literally either them lip syncing to like a funny scene in a movie or them learning a dance, which is probably a great workout as well. So I don't know, I'm going to stop ranting now. It's just because I really enjoy TikTok maybe, but I also just don't understand judgmental people. But the next thing is having a tidy environment. I always believe that having a tidy environment gives you a bit of a clearer mind. I know it does for me. Like when my room is a mess, i.e. now, I can feel unorganised, and it just doesn't make it a very nice environment to be in. I always feel so much better if I walk into my room and little things like my bed is made, there's not stuff all over the floor, my clothes have been put away. So you might find that that's something that you want to do, or you can organise or reorganise your wardrobe or your drawers, or have a clear out. I have had a clear out when I moved my room and got rid of so much stuff, which I was really proud of myself because I'm a bit of a clothes hoarder. But obviously we have nowhere to take it because there's no charity shops open. So I've got loads of bin liners in the back of my car. They are just a few things that I have found have helped me during quarantine. I'm sure there is so much more. But they're just the ones that kind of came to mind and have been my main things that have kind of kept me going. I think it's also important to say that it is okay if you're not coping well, or if you are coping well. It's okay to feel whatever you're feeling about quarantine because everyone's different. If you do have me on social media, I'll link my social media down below. If you do need a place to go, if you want to talk to someone, my DMs are always open. My account on Instagram is private, but I always look at the like requested ones, so you can send me a message. So I hope this video has been helpful to you, and if you have any other suggestions of videos that I can do during this time, then just throw them at me and I will have a look through them. Stay safe, stay home, and hopefully together we will come out the other side of this very, very soon.